We're going to talk about what we believe, what are our habits, and what are we expecting out of life. And I want to just very much focus on these, because what we believe, if I tell you all you need to do is change what you believe, and then you will be enlightened, wouldn't it be wonderful if that actually worked? Yeah, no, that doesn't work. The reason is that our beliefs are sometimes so deeply held that we don't even realize that that is our belief. And I use as an example, how many people believe in atoms? How many people have ever seen an atom? Anybody? Any scientists under I don't know, how do you see an atom? Do you look under a microscope or something? I don't know. In the textbook, somebody drew a picture of an atom. Well, actually, they drew a picture of some dots, and they drew some little lines around it, and on the title of that little picture, they wrote the word atom. What if they were lying? I don't think they were, but I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But isn't it funny? But when I asked you how many people believe in atoms, everybody said, oh yeah, I believe in atoms. We believe in something we've never seen. How did this happen? Somebody told you, your teacher, somebody you trusted, told you that atoms existed. Maybe you came home and your parents said, oh, that atom talk, oh, that's crazy, that doesn't exist. My mother would have said that. But we believed our teacher. And so see how very carefully we need to take a look at what our beliefs are in order to decide, is that something I want to believe in? Now, atoms are probably like, okay. My father, the gentleman I was having lunch with today, he had some heart problems, and my dad always had heart problems. My mother was a nurse, and so she, I always say, lovingly nagged him into losing weight because my dad loved to eat. He really loved cookies. And so at every holiday, my dad would stand in the kitchen, and when nobody was looking, my dad would eat all of the cookies that were on the counter. And he was sure that those cookies that nobody saw him eat had any calories. Those were free cookies, didn't bother him whatsoever. My mother would nag him about that. So some of you may know that in the 80s, I think, 1980s, some research came out that cholesterol was collecting in our arteries. And somebody realized that eggs have cholesterol. And so there was this huge campaign. Scientists said, eggs are bad for you. Don't eat any eggs. Never eat eggs. Well, now we don't eat eggs because we love chickens, but that's a whole other story. So my mother would never let my dad eat eggs because she was so believing in whatever a doctor told her that she believed that it would kill my father. Now, about 10 years later, there were scientists that came out and said, oh, wait a minute. That's not the same cholesterol. Eggs are actually good for you, right? Now they know. Forget what I told you 10 years ago. Eggs are good. My mother was like, don't believe them? Nope. I heard that they were bad. To the day she died, my mother believed that eggs were bad for you. So that is how a belief can hold you back in a way that you don't even realize it. It can be something as insignificant as eggs and something as all-powerful as where do you think your energy comes from. So that's the reason why we're here today. We're going to take a really specific look at what we believe and to determine if some of those beliefs may be the obstacle to our transcendence. Let's see. Now, here's another one of my favorite things. So, the other thing we know that happens is we have habits. 90% of what we do, let me push this button here. Woo, good, do that. 90% of what you do during the day, you do as a result of habits. At least that's what the scientists say. So let's take a usual habit. Did everybody wake up this morning? This is not a trick question. Everybody awoke, yes? Anybody brush your teeth? Yes? If you did not brush your teeth this morning, don't tell us. We don't want to know. But conceptually, most of the time we get up, we brush our teeth, right? Do you remember brushing your teeth this morning? Yes? Okay, I'm going to give you an assignment. When you go to your room tonight and you are about to brush your teeth, I want you to brush your teeth with the other hand. It feels very, very weird. And as an example, one of the things I want to tell you is that even though meditation and all the spiritual practices can ultimately lead to this incredible, blissful, transcendent experience, at first, some of the things are going to feel uncomfortable and unnatural because it's not your habit. Is it really only natural to brush your teeth with only one hand? No, you can brush your teeth with your other hand. Anybody ever broken their arm? The arm that they brush their teeth with? And how hard was it to have to brush your teeth that whole time? You're like, dang, I'm giving up on my teeth. I don't care. I'll wait till the cast comes off. So I want to point out that this may seem so little, but it starts to give you some insight into how habits are created. And I want to tell one other story about habits. Of course, I'm very aware. I'm trying not to just act habitually. I'm trying to be very mindful in every moment of every day. So in my bathroom at home, there are 2 mirrors. And behind the mirrors, you can store stuff. What do they call those? Like cabinets. So there's cabinets behind the mirrors. So one day, I'm all about efficiency. And so one morning, I was brushing my teeth, and I realized that I keep my toothbrush in one cabinet, and my toothpaste is in the other cabinet. Radical stuff, radical. So I decide that it would be far more efficient to take my toothpaste out of this cabinet and put it with the toothbrush. Are you with me? Sound like a smart idea, right? Don't have to open up both cabinets, only open up one cabinet, saved at least, 10 calories, I don't know. So that night I was so excited, but then when I went into the bathroom to brush my teeth, what do you think happened? I went to look for my toothbrush and I said, who stole my toothbrush? Who stole my toothpaste? I said, where'd my toothpaste go? What's it doing over there? Oh, yeah. It was a wake-up call. So something little tiny like that, by just moving my toothpaste from one side of the cabinet to the other, every morning and every night, I am ashamed to admit this, for 30 days, I reached for the toothpaste in the wrong place. Isn't that embarrassing? It is. But that shows how strongly our habits are ingrained in us. Now imagine that you have a habit that you've been doing for decades, and how difficult that habit is going to be to break. So that's the reason why we have to be very aware. We're going to pay attention to our habits so we understand why we do what we do. Can everybody cross your arms? Just cross your arms. Cross your arms. Yep, cross your arms. Sir, are you with? Oh, thank you very much. I hate to have a holdout there. Okay, everybody crossing your arms, crossing your arms. Now, cross your arms the other way. Weird, isn't it? Doesn't it feel uncomfortable? Unnatural? What on earth? Okay, I don't want you to look mad at me the whole time, so you can uncross your arms. But that's an example of how habit, when we try to break a habit, makes us feel uncomfortable. So remember that feeling that you just had, so that you'll know that as you're trying some of these new mystical techniques, they might feel uncomfortable. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about, before we actually do some stuff, we're going to talk about expectations. And so expectations come from a variety of different places. If you knew nothing about me, and I stood here right now, think about what kind of expectations you have about me. Oh, those Buddhists. Oh, I love those Buddhists. They're awesome. She must be really nice. She's a Buddhist. Oh, but she's a Christian minister too. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I hate those Buddhists. They're always doing the right thing. I bet I don't like her because she's Buddhist. Ooh, some of you may have noticed I'm white. You have some expectations about me. You see the color of my skin? What's going on in your head right now? You're thinking something about me. You think you know me. You think you've known white people before. I have to tell you a funny story about this. So my daughter lives in Mumbai, and she's been thinking about driving a car, about buying a car. And we read online, what was the safest car? What was the one with the best resale? And we did all our research, and it said that a Honda City that was silver was the safest car, best resale. That's the one we want. So we tell all her friends, we're looking for a later model Honda Civic silver. So she gets a very anxious call from one of her friends. And the friend says, I found the perfect car for you. And Erica's so excited. She says, oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Tell me all about it. And he says, it's a Honda City. It's red. Red? We told you we wanted silver. And he goes, oh, I sold a red car to an American a month ago, and they really liked it. It seems like a little thing, but how often do we do that by the things we think we know about people, and we make assumptions about what they might like, what they are like, and who they are as a person. So I offer all this up only to let us know that sometimes it is our expectations that causes us to not be so fully present in the moment that we're having that opportunity to have that transcendent experience.